What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Doctor Who episode review. So last week I was not a fan of the episode, and this week I was apprehensive about having this episode because they're historical episodes where they kind of take a huge liberal look at history. Never really works out to be the best, and sadly here the Romans and the native Celts, well, it just completely fell apart and was really complete and utter nonsense. So we had obviously the Romans and the Celts. This is the Roman 9th Legion that went missing, and then obviously this is kind of taking their kind of history and blending it and kind of doing what the hell they actually want with it. So they had the fact that there's this kind of weird demon that eats the light, and then, well, everyone was trying to kill it, and it turns out that these Celts or these native Scots were the ones who were supposed to kind of keep it safe or stop it, but then it all went wrong, and really this episode gave us the reason why the crows actually call, which was just terrible. I mean, I'm sorry, but it is ham-fisted and had all the subtlety of a fucking sledgehammer. Especially when we had the kind of, again, Bill mentioning that she's a lesbian. Seems every single episode a guy hits on her and she has to explain that she's not actually into dudes. Which, again, is just make it not obvious. Just make it just a thing. Make it not even a thing. I just don't see why they have to mention that every single episode. And then we learn, obviously, that the Romans were completely gender fluid, which really, you don't learn that in school, but we all know that they were like that. So that kind of played on that, and maybe Bill was the closed-minded one here, which I don't think really worked in that aspect. Now, the acting from the young girl who was supposed to be the one blocking and stopping this beast was just abysmal, I think. She just really wasn't that good. She was just robotic and rubbish. The Roman soldiers, I thought, did a great job. I thought they were really good in this role. Weirdly, the dude who was in the trailer, it looked like he was going to play a lot more in this role, and the trailer looked completely different, to be honest. The trailer made this episode look completely it looked more of a wide sweeping kind of epic, as opposed to this kind of monster of the week, damp squib of an episode, where we really did just have them in a cave, and then the Doctor was trying, once again, checking his survivor privilege and trying to take their destiny away from them, when really these are the ones who it's the humans who need to save the day for themselves. He just helps them help themselves. So there is that, and it seems like the Doctor really is actually learning. He's learning maybe that he can't always be the one who can save the day, or he can't be the one who has to be the sacrifice, which we had with the monks as well. We had that episode, and obviously all of that was going on. He wanted to try and be the one to save them, but Bill is making him learn that the humans have to make the decisions themselves because it is actually their world. So again, more learning here, although it doesn't seem like he's been too receptive to that yet. But the whole episode, I think, was just a really naff. It was slow-paced, a bit boring. I can't help but think that it was really ham-fisted in places and just so on the nose. It felt like a really kind of lame filler episode that Russell T Davies would write, to be honest, to be really on the nose with absolutely everything. Now, I think that maybe they should have had one faction here, but then again, maybe that would have been too similar to the Martian episode, to be honest. So there is that as well, but the episode just did not grip me, sadly, one bit. Which is a shame, because I absolutely love Roman history. Roman history is one of the things I am really, really passionate about and really interested in. It's one of the most interesting parts, I believe, in history of the Roman conquest of Britain and also the world. So they kind of really did F this up. And what they had as well with the Celts, it kind of took away from it. They were kind of hating on the Romans, but if you've seen Monty Python, what have the Romans ever done for us? Well, they they had put law in place, they had absolutely everything. They did so much for Britain and made it advanced. So they're kind of portraying them as this kind of evil invader. Yes, they did invade, but they did so much for the country as a whole, really, didn't they? For infrastructure and all that. So it just seems a bit kind of, I don't want to say SJW, but kind of there with that. It kind of felt like they were trying to really portray them as the bad guy, which kind of weren't. And I kind of feel that maybe if they wanted the Romans and these Celts to work together, maybe they should have talked more or whatever. I would have liked to have learned more where this beast actually came from. I felt like we were leading up to some huge big reveal, but they never came. So really a weak episode, but next week we have got a really cool episode. So we have got the original Cybermen coming to us. Obviously, I completely forgot that the original ones came from another dimension. And of course, we have got John Sim in that episode, in that trailer as well. So it's looking really cool. So that's it for this video. Please do drop a like. Please do subscribe. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.